right? And it's feeling good. And as you're rocking side to side, you can even do circles. You could even have your knees be a little bit wider if you want to start opening up the hips. It's kind of really whatever feels good to you. Right? You got to kind of get rid of the ickiness of that lower back. Wake up and that lower back is tight. That just means you're human, right? Then you're going to hug your right knee to your chest. The left leg can be out straight, and we're just nice and easy going to go side to side. Right? So just trying to stretch out that leg. If you want to have one foot down on the ground, of course you can, right? Start thinking of keeping that lower back down, right? And just doing what feels good. And remember, we're warming up, so you do not have to go fast at all. You can just go nice and slow and controlled, right? It's almost Friday, so, you know, you don't want to be too crazy. Friday is usually the crazy workout. So we're going to go one more to each leg here. And then we're going to have our leg up straight. You can grab behind that hamstring or calf. And we're going to alternate there, right? So same thing, taking your time. If you want to have one foot down, that's perfectly okay, right? Sometimes your lower back is going to want one foot down, especially when we're doing straight legs. It's a little bit more challenging on that lower back, right? And we don't want our lower back mad at us. Heck no. Hamstrings can be a little bit mad at us. That's okay. But we'll stretch them out. So same thing here. If you feel like you're really tight on one side, you can hold it, right? And just slowly move a little bit longer, right? You don't have to go at a speed that keeps up with me at all, right? I don't care if you keep up with me or not, right? Because I'll go at my own pace too. And you know I like to move slow during warm-up. So we're going to go about 3 more here, right? Or you can just stop when I stop, right? So I'm going to go one more on my other leg. And then I'm going to relax those legs down. And we're going to get ready for some slow and controlled bridges. So make sure that you've got your feet about hip width apart. You're going to inhale in. Exhale, press up, squeeze those glutes. Nice, easy inhale, coming right back down. So every time you're pressing up, try to get those hips up as high as possible. Squeeze your glutes. You can even hold it for about a second and then slowly come back down. Right, so you're kind of getting ready for some bridges today. Trying to wake up those hamstrings, get out of any cramps that you might think you might have in there. And of course, you'll stretch out your back with it too. Right, we're all about the bridges today. Lots of bridges, glutes, core work. Basically just a typical Pilates workout here, right? So on your next motion, we're going to stay up nice and tall, and we're going to do that half bridge. So you're coming halfway down, press back up and squeeze. So basically, you're just not letting your hips rest on the floor, right? If you feel like you need to have your hips come all the way down, you could, right? If you feel like you need that break in between each one. But if you can stay up, go ahead and stay up, because we won't be here too long. Right, we're warming up. Right, we're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to hold up top. So there's 1, here's 2, here's 3. We press up and hold, and we're squeezing our glutes, right? So just hanging tight here. Try to do a check-in with those shoulders if they're relaxed, right? They might not be. It's hard to be relaxed sometimes, you know? Someone says, hey, relax. You're like, oh, okay. You got 5 seconds. You're going to go down in 3, 2, 1. We're going to slowly bring those hips down, and we're just going to do a slow and controlled crunch. So hands are behind our head, elbows are wide. You're going to inhale in. Exhale, we'll lift up into a crunch, push that back down. Nice and easy back, right? So remember on this, you want to keep your elbows wide so you're not pulling on that neck. And you want to really let your head rest into those hands, right? So it's easy on this to be tensed up and think that your neck has to do the work, but we want it to focus on our core, right? So your hands are there to support your head, right? We're keeping our elbows wide so it holds on to that posture, right? Posture, and it's, again, it's slow and controlled with this. So on your next crunch, you're going to crunch up as high as you can. You're going to come halfway down and then crunch back up, right? So it's a nice and controlled motion. You're trying not to let that head come all the way down. Your abs might even shake and burn a little bit with this. That's okay. It's kind of a small contracting motion here. We got 15 seconds, and then we'll do a little bit of a hold, and then we'll relax, and we'll go to our side. Okay, nice and controlled on your next crunch up. Go ahead and crunch and hold, right? So as you're holding there, really tense up those abs. Act like if I was going to come through the screen and punch you in the stomach. I won't, but you would tense up your abs if someone was going to punch you, right? You got 10 seconds here. Really trying to lift up, let that head rest into those hands, right? Remember, your arms are strong. You got 3, 2, 1. You're gonna relax your head down, and we're gonna go to our side. So it does not matter which side you go to first, right? We'll do both. We're gonna start with our top leg, just pointing our toe, and we're gonna bring our leg up and down, right? So on this, just keep it in a range of motion that feels good to you, right? You wanna make sure that you've got your leg nice and activated, so you're really pointing the toe, right? You're keeping your leg nice and strong. And we're gonna add a pulsing motion into this in 15 seconds. Excuse me, I had a little hiccup and a burp combined there. So now what you're gonna do, you're gonna do a pulse and then kick up, right? So we'll pulse and kick, pulse and kick. So as you're doing this, try to think about that posture, right? Even if you're down lower, that's okay. Just try to keep your shoulders relaxed, right? That's our goal today. Keep those shoulders relaxed, right? You gotta do stuff that keeps you relaxed. And Pilates is one of them, right? Of course it is. You got 15 seconds and then we're just gonna pulse, okay? So we gotta get those glutes and hips ready to roll today because the band is gonna get them kicking in action, okay? So now after this next one, you're just gonna stay low and you're gonna pulse. So pointing that toe, you wanna try to squeeze that calf. Your leg is nice and strong. So when you point your toe, it's just gonna connect everything through that leg and keep it nice and strong and connected, right? There's a purpose to the point. It's not just me telling you what to do. So we got 15 seconds and we're gonna switch legs. And then we're gonna do this fun on the other side, okay? So 10 seconds, still thinking of that posture, keeping those shoulders relaxed. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. And we're gonna go to the other side. So now we're starting with that top leg. Once you're set up, it's nice and straight. You're pointing your toe, we're just kicking up and down, right? So just nice and controlled motions here. Keeping our legs strong, right? Of course we're keeping it strong. And this is pretty easy so far. I always think this leg burns a lot quicker than it did on the other side. It's like my brain knows what to expect now. So we got 15 seconds until we add in that pulse, right? Remember, try to think of keeping those shoulders relaxed. And now we're adding in our pulse. So we pulse and then we kick. Pulse and kick, right? So make sure that core is staying tight. You've got your leg nice and straight. Remember, we're trying to focus on keeping that foot pointed so our whole leg is engaged as we kick, right? Because you don't want your knees and ankles and all moving all over the place looking wacky, right? You want a nice straight line. So we have 15 seconds and then we're gonna go just to the pulsing, okay? You're doing a great job here. You're breathing, you're moving, and it feels good. And now we just pulse, right? So with that pulse, nice and controlled, pointing that toe, keeping your leg nice and straight, right? Keeping core tight, shoulders relaxed. You've got 15 seconds. And then we're gonna go to our hands and knees for a little bit. Got 10 seconds here to go. Keep on pulsing. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that leg. And then we're gonna go to our hands and our knees, right? So if it doesn't feel good for you to be on your hands with your wrists, you could be on your elbows. If you wanna roll up something to have under those knees, you can too. But you want your hands or elbows right underneath your shoulders, and we're just gonna do an alternating kick out. So you'll kick out one leg, it's gonna come in, and then your other leg kicks out. So every time you're kicking out, you're trying to point that toe, squeeze, and come back. So it does not have to be fast, right? You're trying to keep that leg as strong as you can. And you're just trying to point and squeeze and reach, right? Doing a great job going side to side. We got 15 seconds. And then we're gonna go into a fire hydrant. Right, you got 10 seconds. We're gonna go one more to each side. Okay, and then now we're going into an alternating fire hydrant, right? So you're gonna go wide with one leg, it comes down, and then to the other side. So taking your time on this, right? Make sure your body's not leaning too much to the side that's down when your leg goes wide, right? And you want to control your body. So that means moving nice and slow. We're burning up the glutes. We're waking up the hips. Doing a great job. Got about 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to get rolling for the day. So let's go 5 more. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. Then you're gonna relax. Okay, so for today, you're either gonna have a Pilates ball, or if you don't have that, you'll have a rolled up towel. So to get your towel ready, you would just kind of fold it in half and then roll it up, kind of like this. And that's how it'll be for the most part, right? And then you're gonna have a band, right? So I'm using a mini loop. If you don't have that, remember with your other band, you'll just tie it around and tie that in, okay? So our first one that we're gonna do, you're gonna have the band is gonna be around your ankles or your shins, and you're gonna be on your side, right? So we're gonna be doing some glute activation exercises, which means we're gonna fire up your glutes, and then we'll do some bridges, and then that's just gonna make our glutes work even better. So this is gonna be just like our warm-up move that we did. You're gonna have your legs out to the side. On this, you wanna point your toe, you're trying to raise your leg up as high as you can, and then you only wanna come about halfway down, right? So see how my band has resistance in that whole time, right? You don't wanna have your band be saggy. Okay, we ready? Go for it. So we're lifting up and back, right? So it's controlled. It doesn't have to be a huge movement, right? If you can see mine, my leg's not going crazy high up. It's just enough to add resistance into that band, okay? So we're gonna be doing lifts here. And then of course, if you know me at all, you know we're gonna do a hold, right? You should have known that already. So this is gonna fire up those glutes, your hips, but it's gonna make you stronger, right? So strong glutes means strong knees and a strong lower back, okay? So next move, you're lifting that leg up as high as you can, you're gonna hold right there. So as you hold, it burns. Guess what's gonna tense up? Those shoulders. So keep those shoulders relaxed. Keep on trying to raise that leg higher and higher, making sure that you're breathing, right? Nobody likes isometrics, but they're good for you, okay? So keep on lifting that leg up high. You've got 15 seconds. And then we're gonna do our other leg. So hang on to it, try not to give into the burn. We are almost there. I'm burning right here with you. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, now we gotta do our other leg, right? So keep that band where it is. We're switching. Right, make sure our legs are out straight. We're pointing our toe. Once you're set up, we're lifting and coming half back. So remember, you don't want any slack in that band. You want that leg to stay nice and strong. You want to keep distance between that band that whole time, and you're just lifting up and coming about halfway back, right? And pointing that toe, of course, because it's going to engage your full leg, okay? You're doing a great job. You got 10 seconds until we hold. Oh, yes. Isn't that just fun? It sure is. Doing a great job. You're going to lift, you're going to hold. So we got our leg nice and strong. You're pointing. Remember, you're trying to hold on to that posture. Make sure those shoulders are staying relaxed. We're holding that band up as high as we can, right? Making sure we're breathing. And keep on holding. We got 15 seconds. So we're almost there. Then we get to go to the ball or your towel. So keep on lifting that leg up high. You've got 10 seconds. All right, you're almost there. 5 seconds. Keep on holding on to it. You got 3, 2, 1. You're gonna relax, and you can take your band off. So now you're either gonna be using your ball or your towel, and we're gonna do bridges. So if you have your towel, you're gonna have your towel underneath both of your feet, and we're gonna do bridges like that, right? So it's a little unstable. If you have your ball, you're either gonna have both feet on your ball and press up and down, or you can do 1 foot on, 1 foot off, right? So you could either do both and bridge up and down. Same thing goes for the towel, right? Going up and down, or you can have 1 on, 1 off, right? You ready? And go. So you're gonna bridge up and down, right? So it's gonna make it a little bit unstable. Obviously, the towel isn't gonna be as wobbly as a ball because the towel isn't super round, but it is gonna elevate those legs up and make it a little bit harder on those hamstrings. Okay, and if you're doing this with 1 foot on, 1 foot off, right, keep on bridging through, and I'll tell you when to switch legs, right? So we're pressing up and down. Okay, we got 5 seconds. Okay, and then you're gonna press up and you're gonna hold this bridge. So as you hold your bridge, you wanna squeeze those glutes. If you wanna make it harder, you could go more heels down, toes up, but you're really trying to focus on squeezing those glutes and pressing up on those heels, right? So we have 15 seconds And then we're gonna repeat this. Yay! Of course we are, right? Because it's fun, that's why. If you do it once, your body will be like, I need to do more. Okay, you got 5 seconds. And we're bridging up and down, right? So you either have both feet on or you're switching which foot was on. You're trying to press up and down. Try not to rest too much on the bottom, right? We're waking up those hamstrings, waking up those calves, waking up the glutes, of course. They're already awake though. Okay, we got 15 seconds until we do that hold. Okay, you're doing a great job. You got 10 seconds. Keep on pressing up and back, right? And on your next motion, you're gonna press up, holding that bridge, get those hips up as high as possible, squeezing those glutes, right? You can go heels down, toes up if you wanna make it harder, but you're trying to hold up as high as you possibly can in that bridge, okay? So we're just holding and squeezing, right? You got 15 seconds, and then we're going back to the band, okay? Holding on to it. You got 10 seconds. Keep pressing up, keep on breathing. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, so now we're gonna sit on up and you're gonna grab your band. The band is gonna go up above your knees, okay? You're gonna shimmy that band on and shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. And then you're gonna have either the towel, or the ball. So if you have the towel, you wanna kind of roll it up a little bit more into a ball shape. You're gonna put it right behind your lower back so it supports you. Okay, same thing with that ball. It would be right behind your lower back. So if you kind of even smash it a little bit so you're almost sitting on it, it's gonna protect your back more, okay? So you're gonna start with your legs together. You're up nice and tall. Your eyes are gonna meet the ceiling or the wall and ceiling mill. You're gonna tilt back. Legs are gonna go wide. Legs come back. You come up, right? So you're gonna tilt, wide, back, up. Tilt, wide, back, up. So you want to keep contact with that towel or ball the whole time, right? Don't sit up off of it. If you need to scoot it down more, you can. Remember, if you sit on part of it, it kind of supports you a little bit more with it. You could even gently have your hands down on the ground if you need to, but you're just tilting back, going wide, coming back and in, right? So you're hanging on to this move. It's a lot of core and a lot of glute, right? So in 5 seconds, we're gonna stay back and we're gonna pulse our legs. So you're gonna stay back, use that core, and your knees are going wide, 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 right? So on this, you wanna make sure you're using your core to stay up tall, right? The ball or the towel is not gonna support your body weight, right? It's smaller. Your core has to hold you up. If you wanna make it harder, you can have your arms up by your ears, but you're pulsing wide into that band. You're using your core, and you've got 10 seconds, right? Until we repeat this move. So you're going wide, 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 wide. And then you're gonna come back up. Okay, so we're gonna tilt, go wide, come back, come up, right? Tilt, wide, back, up. So really focus on your core of holding you in position, right? Remember, the ball's there to support you. It's not there to do the work for you. So you've got to rely on your core to do this move, right? So keeping your head up nice and tall. You're looking towards the ceiling. On your next motion, you stay back and you tilt, right? So your shoulder blades should be nowhere near the ground, right? We're just holding that position. You're pulsing into that band. So legs are pulsing wide, 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 right? And if you want to make it harder, arms are up straight right by your ears, and you're pulsing wide, 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 wide. You got 15 seconds. Okay, you're almost there. 10 seconds. Keep on going wide, 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 wide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. So keep that band on. You're going to go to your side now. Okay, so we're going to get ready for some clamshells. Okay, so clamshells. You are going to have your knees bent. Heels are tucked behind your body. You want to keep your feet together. You're trying to bring that knee up as high as you can. And again, we're only coming halfway back, right? So you're never going to have any slack in that band, okay? So you'll come up and then halfway back, right? Up and halfway back. So you want to control this motion. It's not going to be fast. You want to make sure your knees are not coming together, right? We're going to keep that glute working the whole time. We don't want it to have a break, okay? And try to pay attention to those shoulders right? Pay attention to that posture, right? This is gonna burn, so your body's gonna want to tense up. It's gonna be like, ooh, yuck, I don't like this, but just do it, it's good for you. Okay, so lifting up and back, core is staying tight. We have 5 seconds here, right? And then we're gonna lift it and hold it. So you're lifting that leg up high and you're gonna hold right there, right? So as you hold, right, this is another one of those fun moves. Think of your posture. This is gonna work your obliques a lot. So we're working the side of our waist here, and you're working your glutes. So stand tall, tall, tall. Feet are still staying together. We've got 10 seconds until we switch sides, right? So make sure you're hanging on to it, you're breathing, you're feeling good. Of course you're feeling good, okay? Got 3, 2, 1, you're gonna relax. We're gonna switch sides, right? So once you're set up, go ahead and go right into it. Feet are together, knees are bent, you're coming up as high as you can, coming halfway back, right? So lift, halfway, right? So we're only going halfway so that you can keep resistance in the band the whole time and so that those glutes are working that whole time. Okay, so thinking of your posture, lifting and coming halfway back down, making sure those feet are staying together, right? So you really want to try to raise that leg as high as you possibly can, right? We really want to work those hips, work those glutes, okay? So it's going to help you get stronger with your lower back and knees, right? Glutes are important for everything, but those are 2 power points to it, okay? So next one you're lifting, you're holding, right? We got our isometric. Man, that 30 seconds went fast. So make sure you're breathing. By this point, both of your glutes are still burning. Hold on to that resistance. Don't let that give in. You want to have as much space between those knees right now as you can, okay? You have 15 seconds, then we get to go back to bridges. Whew, you never thought you'd be so happy to do bridges. Okay, 10 seconds. Keep on lifting that leg up as high as you can. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna relax. You can take your band off, and you're gonna grab your towel or your ball. So now, it's gonna go right between your knees, no matter what you're using, right? Ball or towel. And you're gonna have your feet all the way together. Okay, so ball or towels between your knees, feet are all the way together, right? You're gonna start, you wanna squeeze the ball or towel, right? So you should already start squeezing. We're gonna do regular bridges, pressing up and down, right? And your feet are together. Make sure your feet are touching, right? That's gonna help you squeeze the ball, and it's also gonna make it into a different bridge. Okay, so we already started, we're pressing up and down. We're gonna be adding to this as we go, okay? So keep on squeezing that ball as much as you possibly can. We got 10 seconds until we go to the next portion of this move, right? So 5 seconds here. So you're gonna press up, you're holding your bridge, now you're squeeze pulsing the ball or tap. So that means you're squeeze, 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 squeeze. You're squeezing, 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 right? So you should constantly be squeezing in, and it should already burn. It shouldn't feel good, right? That's how you know you're doing it right. But feet are still together. You're squeeze, 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 okay? You got 10 seconds here. Keep on holding on to it. Squeeze as much as you possibly can to get the full effort out of this move. 5 seconds. Now you're gonna squeeze the ball as much as you possibly can, and you're gonna bridge up and down. So you should be holding this squeeze as you bridge up and down, and it should be such a powerful squeeze that you just absolutely hate it, right? If you think it's easy, you're not squeezing enough, right? So you guys squeeze it as much as you can. You have to make it hard. I can't make it harder for you, okay? You got 10 seconds until we add to this, right? 5 seconds. Keep on squeezing, hold that squeeze, right? Pressing up, holding that bridge. You're squeezing as much as you possibly can, and you're going up and down on your tiptoes. Okay, so you're squeezing, and you're doing tiptoes in your bridge, right? So we haven't stopped squeezing, if you didn't get that yet. I don't know how many times I have to tell you to squeeze, right? You know, I'm going to say it so many times it's going to start sounding weird, okay? So hold that squeeze as much as possible. It should be making your inner thighs scream, right? You got 5 seconds until we do another little fun move for you. I know. Okay, staying on those tiptoes. Now you're squeeze, pulsing the ball. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Right, so that's the repeating squeeze. Okay, you're squeezing in, 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 in. It should not feel good, right? My inner thighs feel like they're about to fall off. You got 15 seconds. Keep on squeezing. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 10 seconds. Then we're going to do a hold. Okay, Keep on squeezing. You got 5 seconds. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And squeeze as much as you possibly can. Hold that bridge up as high as possible. And we're just holding. So your goal right now is to squeeze the ball or towel so much, right, that you're going to pop it. Obviously, you can't pop a towel, right? But you're almost there. Squeeze as much as possible, right? Make your inner thighs scream with it. You got 10 seconds to go. Keep on squeezing. Keep on breathing. We're almost there. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay. Get rid of that ball now. All right, we're almost done. We got a couple more moves. So we're putting our band back up above those knees. All right, we got to do more glute activation here. And we're going to do fire hydrants. Okay, so take your time getting your band up above your knees. If it doesn't feel comfortable above your knees, you could have it on your shins also, right? It'll do the same thing. It's just a little bit more challenging up higher. Okay, so once you're set up, remember, you can have your hands right underneath your shoulders, or you could be on your elbows. Okay, we're starting with our right leg. You're going to come wide and then back. Okay, wide and then back. Okay, go for it. So making sure that you're controlling that resistance, you're controlling your leg as it comes down, and you're trying not to let your head hang down. Okay, so you can look at your fingertips, you could look straight down. Just try not to look at your leg. I know it's tempting. You want to see how cool your leg looks, right? Okay, we got 10 seconds, then we're going to do our isometric hold. Okay, you're doing a great job. You got 5 seconds. Okay, so we're going to keep that leg wide and we're going to hold, right? So on this, it is pure torture here, right? Your left glute is probably screaming. It should be, right? And then your core is working, and your right side's like, ooh, yuck. Okay, but keep that right leg as wide as possible, and you're holding. You're breathing. You got 15 seconds. Keep that leg as wide as possible. 10 seconds. We're almost there. Keep on grooving. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, now we gotta do our other side. Left leg's gonna go wide. Left leg's gonna come back. Ready? And go. So wide and back, right? Head's not hanging down, right? Try to think of that posture. Try to breathe through the burn, right? This is a pretty evil move, I know. Even I think it is, and I'm doing it too. You know? I'm not turning my screen off like, oh no, you can't see me. Okay, you're almost there. We got 5 seconds until we hold. Okay, keep on breathing with it. You can do it. Okay, and you're gonna lift that leg and hold. Okay, so keep our leg wide. You're holding. Your right glute is screaming at you. Mine's screaming at me. Make sure you're breathing. Hold that form. Keep that leg as wide as possible. Okay, 15 seconds to go. Hang on to it. Keep pressing wider and wider. Okay, you've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, taking that band off. Now we're going to do a little bit of core work with our towel and ball. Okay, so same thing. It's going to be between our ankles. And on this, you have the option. Okay, if you want to make it harder, you're on your elbows. Right? If you want to make it a little bit easier on that back, you can stay down, keep your head down, and you'll do a tabletop motion. So on this, we're going to be kicking our legs out. So the lower your legs are, the harder it is. If you kick up more towards the ceiling, it makes it easier on your back. But of course, you can always hold tabletop. Okay, so I'm going to be on my elbows for it. You got the ball between. You can go ankles or shins. You're going to kick your legs out straight. You're going to squeeze the ball. Bring those legs back in, right? So you're going to kick, squeeze, back in. Right? Kick and squeeze, and back in. Kick and squeeze, and back in. Okay, so holding on to that posture. Remember, if it doesn't feel good to be on your elbows, you don't have to, right? If you wanted to instead, you could even do a crunch with it, right? There's kind of all kinds of motions you can do with this. So you're focusing on your core. Every time you squeeze that ball, it makes your core connect all the way, right? Isn't that cool? That's why squeezing is so hard. Your full body gets engaged. So on this next motion, you're going to keep those legs out. We're going to squeeze pulse. So you're squeeze, 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 squeeze. So make sure that you're pointing your toes, right? You don't want to have flappy ankles. You're squeezing with your full leg. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Act like you're trying to chop the towel or the ball in half, right? It's a squeeze pulse. So you're actively squeezing, 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 squeezing. Always squeezing, always squeezing, always squeezing. Right? I know. Then you're going to squeeze that ball as much as you possibly can, and we're going to crunch up and down. So if you're on your elbows now, you will come down. You're going to lift up and down. Remember, if you needed to do tabletop, you can, right? If your back's really on fire, you can put the ball between your knees, feet on the ground, and just squeeze and crunch too. So squeeze that ball. The more you squeeze the ball, the more it's going to connect your core, and the better results you're going to get, right? We're almost done for the day, right? Keep hanging with it, keep squeezing. Okay, last squeeze pulse. So we squeeze, 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 right? So you're squeezing as much as you possibly can. It's a pulse, so it's pulse, 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 squeeze, 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 right? You're going to be saying squeeze all day now, okay? So keep on squeezing the ball. Keep on working through this movement. You got 15 seconds, right? Squeeze, 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 squeeze. You're going to hear me saying squeeze to you in your voice after this. 5 seconds, then we're going to do a little squeeze hold. Oh, no, right? So I want you to squeeze the ball as much as you possibly can, and you're going to hold. So you can have your head down, legs can be at the tabletop, you could have your feet on the ground, whatever you need to do. I want you to squeeze as much as you possibly can, so much more that you're like, I cannot squeeze another inch. But you can, because you're going to squeeze, right? This is one of those, you have to make it hard. So right now, I think this is pretty terrible. I am squeezing with all my might. I want you to feel that way too. Squeeze. Try to flatten your ball or tap. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. There you are. Right, and then you have to leave your mat. It's that simple.